Welcome back to Spitballin Cards. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about, is a card altered or is it just fine? Should you buy this potentially altered card or is it no big deal? In this video, you have me, Scott, we have Phil, we have Jeff, and we have Ty. And fellas, I probably should have a photo ready. Let me pull that up once I pass it off to one of you. But we have a Shohei Ohtani 2018 Bowman chromatograph pitching pose that had the autograph wiped off the card and re-signed as his Kanji autograph. If you know, those go for a ton of money when they're pack pulled, but this is classified potentially as an altered card. So how do we feel about it? Do we like it? Do we hate it? Is this setting a bad precedent for other future big cards? A gold Bowman chromatograph is going to get wiped next and have a Kanji autograph? How do we feel? Ty, you're probably the most passionate on this topic, so I'll let you go first.
We talked about this on Cards on the Table on our SCI videos, and I think my exact words were, I hate this more than I can express with words. This is altering a card and in the worst possible way. And we've seen it now. Was it listed on Goldin? It's already up for sale. So like my original speculation was, well, it's fine if it's for your PC. If this is some crazy thing that you want to do because it helps you immortalize a moment when you met Shohei Ohtani. But I don't think, I was hoping this would never actually go to like public sale. Like this would be a thing. If this card goes for more than what the actual like normal auto would go for, then I think the world has lost its mind. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Wiping an auto off of a card, like erasing it. You go out, you find a treasured thing, and then you wipe the auto off on a pack pulled auto to get a new auto. It does not make any sense to me. Like what does this set the precedent for? Oh, I got this card and like the auto's smudged on it, pack pulled. So I'm going to erase it and then get the athlete to sign it more cleanly on the card again. Like this is just, it's
which
bad.
Has been rumored to happen before, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
probably they patch swap cards, which I've never understood, and they do all kinds of crazy things.
It happened with the Trout a few years ago, where they actually called it out though.
This is like, so what I compared it, I'm like, why wouldn't you just get another card that isn't meant to be a certified pack pulled auto and go get a Kanji auto on it, or heck, have him sign the card in Kanji below his other auto. Like I'd be much less worked up about that. Like that'd be actually maybe cooler in, English characters and in Kanji, but like to erase it off, I really don't understand it. And the thing that I likened it to was like, you've got some like brand new development in a really nice neighborhood that went in, and half of the plots have brand new houses on them, multi-million-dollar houses built. And you have like 5 plots completely open. And somebody comes in and goes, I want that plot in the middle, and I'm going to bulldoze the house down that's brand new to build my house because I want a different house and it's got to be in this particular spot. It'd be asinine. Like it just wouldn't make any sense. Like, it's very frustrating. I think I said, imagine like in Panini Select, they do this thing where they'll have like the regular rectangle, card, and you could have a black 1/1, prism, and then there's like die cut versions of the same card. So it's just a die cut. Like, what if you took the cardboard, the rectangle one, and then you cut it into a die cut with like a razor? You're like, this is sweet now. This is such a cool card. 1/1, best rookie card ever. I'm, sending it to Goldin to get it, whatever. Somebody should pay a bunch of money for this. It's stupid. It just doesn't make any, I don't get it. He's entitled to do it. Don't get me wrong. Like in general, fine. But it's almost like sacrilegious. It feels a little sacrilegious to the hobby. I really don't like it, and I don't think anybody else should do this. Frustrating.
How do you feel, Phil?
Yeah, likewise, a few different points here, but I have a principle where I don't like rewarding opportunists just for their hustle. So, for instance, TTMers, people that like leverage their connections or their hustle in order to add value to something, like for something like this, like I just can't pay double what the original market value was. And I think he's seeking much more than that. In this case, could be 5 to 20 times the cost of the card, depending on who you ask. Because I shot out a message on Sports Cards and Nonsense, and I was like, hey, will this go for more than 20K? Most people said yes. So to me, like what Ty's saying, I think it's altered. Just like any card with a wiped and redrawn signature, it's altered. it's not clear whether it was sent to BGS or even PSA for the purpose of encapsulation. Goldin doesn't usually sell raw stuff, right?
That was my thoughts,
So
Phil.
there's a Beckett LOA that's attached to this saying that they know that the card was wiped and redrawn with the kanji script. So I'm guessing that the seller, so I guess good on him for announcing that to Goldin, unless they already knew. He made a Twitter post about it that kind of blew up. So at that point, you can't really avoid it, but maybe that was all part of the plan. But yeah, part of that initial Twitter post where he talks about the card, he said how hard it was to get the signature, how if you know Ohtani, you know that he very, very, very rarely signs it in the kanji script. So again, going back to like the opportunism. And we know that these cards hold more value with the kanji script because he did sign a few with it, and he's got some in other sets with the kanji script, and they sell for ridiculous amounts of money. So I was thinking like Ty, like, okay, like maybe it's not so bad if you hold the card, because I think the guy who owns the card, now seller, said that this is the ultimate collectible.
Yes.
If it was the ultimate collectible, you wouldn't sell it within a few weeks, right? And if it was so hard, and you got to wonder, like, if it's so hard to get this kanji script from Ohtani, and like, you're so special, like, we don't know anything about you, but yeah, based on some of your photos, you get pictured with athletes a lot. So you have a lot of connections with athletes. So great. So maybe you have that one of a kind ability to be able to get close enough to Ohtani to get this done. Or maybe you're afraid of other people doing the same thing, and then there's 5 or 6 of these all being sent to auction, and you want to beat them to it, and you want to get the highest possible valuation. That's when you're selling it. So I start to think, like, if this is such a sacred autograph, what would Ohtani think if he found out that this guy was turning around and selling the card right away?
Exactly.
Right? Did this card go to PSA first? Was it rejected? Was it rejected by BGS? Is that why it's not in case? That's not being disclosed now. And also this Beckett LOA, if you buy this card, what are you going to do? Because it's not attached to the card. It's not even shown in the listing. Hey, I got this. And maybe this is what people do with art. They've got like a separate authenticity thing. You don't do it with cards. You have it like as part of the card, right? The case. So like it might be difficult to sell. I just hope whoever buys this thing understands the risks of exactly what we're talking about, in like, it's kind of a special card, but kind of not. And it's pretty altered, but not described as such. In my opinion, it's altered.
Yeah. I asked my Instagram audience, I like asking polls if they believe this card is altered, and 90% said yes. Literally 90%, which is really rare to get a response that agreeable in sports cards. They all agree that it's altered, and over 60% of them said they would not want to own this card. They wouldn't feel good about owning the card. But at the same time, I think there will be a few high rollers who don't really know what's going on. They just see this great card and they're going to buy this card. But I agree, it would have been graded right now. And how valuable is a Beckett authenticity letter right now? Anyways, with what's going on with Beckett, like, is that a concern as well? Because Beckett is going to be sold most likely recently because their owner just got hit with $2 billion in fraud. So it's one of those things where, is that really that valuable to you? The Beckett letter authenticity? I would want a PSA or nothing. And the authenticity on the card is the top certified autograph issue. That is gone. This is not a top certified autograph issue. And it is called out as such even in this listing. They dance around it. They're pretty straightforward. They don't say the word altered, obviously, but it's not a certified autograph. It's just not. Okay, Jeff, what do you think?
I don't have too much to add. I basically was going to say everything the other boys said. Specifically, when Phil got into this guy's initial post, it seemed like this was a grail for the guy that had taken years to be able to do this, and it gave me a little feeling of leeway for him, because this seemed like something that he really wanted to do for himself and his collection. Was talking about how rare it was. So while I wouldn't have done it in that way, I thought, well, that's great. I mean, I love seeing people that find something that they really want in the hobby and go after it. It sounded like this was a years-long dream of this guy. So then to see it pop up for sale in such a short time after, that leaves an even worse taste in my mouth. And yeah, I would think that Ohtani wouldn't be happy with it either if it is that hard to get. And I just think if this guy has connections to athletes, and this is the one time he decides to use it on Ohtani, and this is what he uses it for, it just seems bad. It's just a bad look for the hobby. We lost a card, a pack-pulled auto of his, and granted, he has others. He has a couple poses, as we've talked about. But a card is out of circulation, an autograph card. And yeah, I just think that's sad. I love the idea of getting a rare card or maybe a box topper auto with Kanji on. That would be a one of a kind thing, and it'd be a really awesome collectible. Something that didn't have an autograph to begin with, I think would be a better way to go and a more desirable card. So I hope this isn't an indicator of things to come.
Great. We're going to get the comment most likely like we're just poor, so we're just hating because we can't afford it. It's not true. Not that we're not poor. We are poor. But my point is, if I had $100,000, I would not buy this card. I would buy a way cooler Ohtani card that wasn't altered. It didn't have a backstory attached to it. One thing you'll find in sports cards, if there's a story attached to a card that's negative, that's the worst possible thing you could have for a card you own, because it is going to be incredibly difficult to sell it, to explain it. You'll have to tell every single person it's altered. It's like a death blow to cards in a lot of ways. So just my 2 cents. Do you disagree with me on that, or do you all agree in regards to pricing?
Yeah, the conscience too, and the inability to sell the card quickly or at all, unless you're looking for a massive discount. We're okay with that. Yeah, the seller, I believe, in that initial, I think it was a Twitter post, and hey, he could be a great guy. He might be. I don't know. But I think he had said that he turned down offers in excess of 300,000 on that card. It was either 300 or 500. And then I'm thinking like, wow, I don't really believe that, but that's weird. And now the fact that he's selling it right away, I'm like, not saying that, he's doing it to pump the auction, but could have been to like plant the seed of, hey, now there's some information suggesting that the card is worth at least this, or maybe in this ballpark.
It's like Ken Goldin, what I am holding. We expect this to go for X amount, and it's like half the price. So yeah. All right. Hey, well, I think that's good.
Whoever buys it, maybe they'll really enjoy the card and love it, and that's great. So
if you buy it for that purpose, feel free. Spend as much money as you would like on this. If that's your goal, is just to own a Kanji autograph and you like it, don't listen to us. But if you want to buy it for an investment, maybe think twice. Is that fair?
Fair.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.